Holla ballers and a brewfist to you all! It's Friday once again here at PG, and that means it's time for drama! The stories that have been coming in thick and fast from all over the place are here to entertain, maybe make you smile, maybe make you angry, maybe make you concerned for your fellow online brethren. That is what we're looking for here today. I've got 3 stories in front of me. Of course, the show doesn't exist without you guys telling us the tales of the weird and wonderful that you encounter in your MMO world. Doesn't matter what game. We're looking for anything that might serve as a warning or perhaps a giggle for some of the things you guys have been through. Today, I have one in front of me. I've got 3 stories in front of me, but one that has been pointed at me is this. I'm a little concerned because it's just called The Paid Raid Leader. Now, this strikes to me as something I've heard happening in the past is certain notable raid leaders on various servers who were paid in gold in order to come and help struggling guilds. This was a thing quite a way back in the day. I don't know if it's still a thing these days to have this happen, but it's... I had mixed reports. Certain raid leaders are known for being good because their guilds did very well, despite the fact that the players themselves were doing like most of the work and didn't turn out to be that good when asked to go and raid lead not particularly great players. So I wonder if that's where we're going. I have no idea, but we'll have some fun along the way. So this is going to take place... I'm not sure if the Arbex is here. Beautiful, wonderful. All right, let's go. Let's have some fun because we're starting late because we've been doing the Final Fantasy XIV tour for new players, which has been great. All right, 3, 2, 1. Holla, preacher! Hello, I haven't got a gavel. I'm gavelless. Got it. I'm such a long-time listener. I've discovered you way back during the Legacy of the Warlock. I remember that one. I died in that one. I bled from the head, which was a concern for YouTube at the time. I've been following drama for years, along with you ranting. Ranting? I don't rant. And they've helped me pass so many ungodly, boring work hours. Despite I don't play WoW anymore, because I am now many years older, I still find it very soothing to listening to various older videos of yours, like choosing a class for Legion. Jesus Christ. That's interesting. I've wanted to write to you for so long, but I never took the leap, mostly due to the fact that I come across as malicious, if not downright evil. And what I did is borderline insane. Oh dear. Okay. Interesting. But I just listened to a drama time where a guildie created drama on message boards, posting about guildies and writing in the third person and revealing himself to be the culprit. I do remember that one. That I decided, fuck it. I might as well send it in. You are all anonymous. Everybody who is an author for Drama Time does remain anonymous, so don't worry about that, unless you out yourself somehow, which we try desperately to avoid happening here. We do our best. Before I begin this story, I would like to state that being nice to your live chat before any verdict has never worked in the history of Drama Time. And therefore, I choose, as is my right, to begin my tale by throwing the first punch. Fuck you, live chat. I am guilty. But render judgment on me, Mike, and jury, on whether or not anybody else is guilty as well. Okay. So we have a self-confessed guilty party, but is anybody else guilty as well to make them feel better? That is an interesting query. We will judge it accordingly. We are all beginning your tale unbiased because we don't know what's in there. Mikey, audience, jury, executioner. This tale begins when I was 18 years of age. All right, not a baby. Starting university in a brand new city. At the time, getting student housing was nigh impossible. So I chose to look outside of campus. This sounds like America. This sounds very America. And eventually found a strange old man renting out one of 2 rooms in his basement. Could be UK. Yeah, it could be UK. You're going to move him and a strange old man into his basement. Not what I did at university, but sure. I arrived a few days before university started, and I was told by my new old man landlord that my roommate had already arrived a week ago. I quickly unpacked all my gear and then decided I would start this relationship properly. I went and knocked on his door. Being new to the city, I was, as you could imagine, eager to make a new friend to discover this new world with. At the time of this story, I had just chosen to grow up and quit World of Warcraft. Sorry, I went all Jonathan Ross there. Not because I wanted to stop gaming, but because I have a downright addictive personality and I wanted to be a responsible, grown-up adult. This came to an what happened? What happened? Why did this dream of responsibility and newfound discipline come crashing down immediately? I knocked on my roommate's door, and when they opened that door, I could see World of Warcraft on their computer screen in the background. Now, you might imagine, given what I just told you, that this was a very disappointing and disturbing turn of events. But that's not true. That would be a lie. In fact, I was beyond psyched that my roommate played WoW. Dude! I greeted him. Hello, he replied. Bro, I'm your new roommate. Sick to meet you. I see you're playing the new expansion. Can I check it out? I haven't played it yet. That was your open... I mean, that is how you make best friends immediately. I don't care what your name is. I don't care where you're from. I don't give a shit if you're new here. I want to watch you play World of Warcraft. That's it. Not even a name. Not even a name. Not even a shake of the hands. Upon 30 seconds of entering the room, I realized I had no desire to be in this room whatsoever. It was gross. Fucking gross. His room was filled with plastic microwave dinner trays, soda cans, and I'm afraid to tell you all, and I don't tell you a word of a lie, tissues. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. It was one of the filthiest rooms I've ever been in my entire life up until this point. But I lived with the guy. I was new in town, and I desperately did not want the next however long of my life I was going to be living with this person to be awkward. It made sense to try and get to know this guy. Thankfully, I didn't have to stay long. The most personal piece of information that I could get out of him once I started asking questions was that his raid leader hated him. It took all of 10 minutes before he turned to me and said, "Oh my God." Sorry, this was not what I was expecting somebody you just met to say. It took all of 10 minutes before he turned to me and said, "You are ruining my concentration by talking to me. I need to focus on my dungeon, so can you leave?" Wow. That's, Jesus Christ. That's fucked. That's genuinely fucked up. That's really fucked up. I mean, yeah, I can get out of this guy's filthy fucking bedroom, sure, but that's really messed up. With a contorted look on my face, yeah, same as I'd have, which is like, all right. I thought, okay, fair enough. So I said goodbye and went back to my area to unpack. Mike, the problem started within the first week. I was doing my econ homework. Okay, econ, this is US. When I heard a knock at my door at 7:30 p.m. I opened the door and my new roomie, who I'd now learned was named Shalana, beautiful, looked extremely pissed off, red-faced and sweaty. Bro, you need to stop using the Wi-Fi. Excuse me, I said, being confused at why this was happening. Bro, it's raid night. You're using the Wi-Fi and it's making me lag. You need to turn off all your stuff on raid nights. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. There ain't no way that's happening. I was in awe. I didn't even know how to respond. Some part of me wanted to believe he wasn't being serious, like this was some kind of joke, but having been a gamer, I had experienced this problem when I still lived at home, so I could sort of see where Shalana was coming from. I said, I'll do it tonight, but I'm not doing this every time you raid, because you raid multiple times a week. I closed the door. This was, of course, my first dilemma as a new roommate. I didn't know what to do. What is the social etiquette? So I put it to your audience, Mike. Should I be kind and let this guy get his way on raid night? Or should I say, fuck it, and allow myself to use the internet whenever the hell I wanted to? Thoughts? Thoughts? He can fuck off. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not like World of Warcraft is an internet hog. I don't know what connection they've got, but WoW is, unless you're patching or something, it's not like WoW chews up the internet. What, have you got like a 2 meg connection or something? Like, no, that's not the way it's got to go. Ain't no way. I thought about it for a while. And it took me about 30 seconds before I decided, fuck him, the dirty bastard, and pulled out every device I owned and began to torrent a movie. I mean, that's... Okay, it's not either or, right? Like, do you work for Blizzard? It's not either we do nothing or we take a cleaver to it, right? That's not the correct move. No, you're giga guilty. That's not the correct move. It's like, oh, you asked me to turn the Wi-Fi off? Well, I'm just going to fuck all the internet up then. Like, that's not the solution here under any circumstances. 2 days went by and Saturday rolled around. I had made some friends from class, so I went out and got hammered at the pub with for some of them. I even managed to meet a girl. We were both very drunk and ended up sleeping until the late afternoon after I brought her home. When I woke up, what is happening here? When I woke, I need you guys more than ever before right now. I am so fucking lost. When I woke up, there were sheets of paper taped to the back of my room door. I think we might have a psycho. I think we might have a psycho. Shalana may be a psycho. Now, of course I was drunk the night before, but not that drunk, and I had a very clear memory of nothing being attached to my door before going to sleep, so it must be Shalana. I ripped the papers off my door, and honest to God, I couldn't believe my eyes. Now, before I reveal this to you all, I would like for you and the chat to guess what was on the papers. It's got to be rules, right? It's got to be. Like, yeah, it's got to be rules. It's got to be like you're not allowed to bring girls home without like some sort of heads up, times, noise levels. So it's got to be something like that. It's got to be. All right, hang on. Let's scroll down so I can see. All right. If you guys guessed chore list, you would be incorrect. Dude, somebody who has a room like Asmongold's Fantasy is not doing a chores list. Like, no, none of us guessed chores lists. This guy is living in a room of dirty tissues and fucking microplates. That's not happening. If you guessed a list of rules for acceptable behavior, you're wrong. Rules for acceptable behavior. So it's not rules. Oh my fucking God. Okay, now we've cut. I need you. Okay, it's actually been guessed in the chat, which is fucking sad as shit that some of you actually guessed this. This is crazy because it never even occurred to me. It was none of those things. What was taped to my room door was a layout of Shalana's raid schedule. Jesus Christ. I think our boy's down bad. Yeah, our boy's down bad. It had notes of when Shalana had what they described as required playtime for farming and activities, stating when internet usage on my end was acceptable, what noise level was acceptable when raiding, and when I could by no means have Wi-Fi turned on my phone. Wild. Fucking wild. How do you respond to this? Like, without... Like, reality. You can't go to beat the shit out of him. You go in and say, you need some fucking help, dude. Like, this is not okay. This is really weird. Yeah, this is like completely unacceptable. It's insane. It's like there's no way you could try and enforce this on anybody. On one of the piece of papers, there was a special rule demanding that if I am going to have, in quotes, house guests, then I need a 1 week advance so that they do not conflict with the acceptable internet usage hours. It's not the noise. It's not the fucking. It's not having somebody else roaming around the place. It's that's 2 phones using the Wi-Fi. 2! That's twice as much internet usage going on at once. Crazy. Mike, I want to show you guys the color-coded system that he gave me. Oh my God. All right, there's a lot of details here. Let me snapshot this for you guys. Dude, these hours are wild. This is crazy. This is insanity. Okay, let's take a look at this together. I'll read it out for our audio listeners. All right. So green, which is use the internet whenever you want, is only allowed on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday from 8 a.m. till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's it. Yellow, which is use internet but be ready to turn it off quickly if needs be, is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 p.m. And also Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. till 3. My fucking God. And then there's red. Do not use the internet in red. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. Tuesday and Wednesday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 2 a.m. So your roommate is telling you that you can only use the internet as you want, which I assume you're both paying for. I'm not sure. We haven't got to there yet. So on an 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. on 5 days a week. That's it. This is not just raid times. No, this isn't just raid times. What this is every hour this guy is at home. So not at class. That's what this is. So he's playing WoW. This is literally every single hour that he's at home. And these are his raid days. I imagine this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, maybe even Friday is the raid hours. So the raid clearly starts at 8 p.m. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, he has no classes. So he just does whatever. Like this guy goes to class. Okay. I mean, we don't know yet whether they're shared paying for it or not. I have no idea. Okay. Mike, having shown you this, as you could probably imagine, this was not tenable. I had university early in the morning during his so-called green hours, and getting banned from using the internet whenever I got home didn't quite work for reality. Before I go any further with the story, though, I want to say two things. One, I was a very stupid person at the time. It never occurred to me to just get my own internet. And I'll be honest with everybody listening to this right now, it only occurred to me as I wrote this story as an adult. The closest I ever got to a normal, real human solution to this was speaking to the old man landlord who told me he didn't understand internet and suggested that I should fucking deal with it. That's fair. That's fair. Yo. Whatever this fucking weird internet shit is you guys are doing, I'm not into it. You guys deal with it. Okay. We still don't know who's paying for it. I need to know. I need to know what the situation is. Is this the old man's internet that you're all feeding off? Or is it a line for just these guys? What is it? Second point I want to make to you all. I'd like to ask you and the audience, okay, is this a situation you would have found tolerable, or would you have, what would you have done to cope with it? No, obviously. No, I'm not living like that, ever. What would I have done to cope with it? This has got to come down to personalities and how you deal with conflict. I would have told him if he has a problem with the internet and I'm fine with it, he needs to upgrade the internet. I would have put the ball in his court. It's like, I can't do anything about this and I need the internet for life and university. So you need to sort it out. It's your problem, not mine, is what I would have said to him. I would have opened with that. If that wouldn't have worked, I just wouldn't have done it. We could have also maybe come up with some way of dividing the bandwidth. If he was a reasonable person, we could have done some sort of bandwidth share. But also, what kind of internet are you using where this is a problem? It makes no sense. Either way, I was fed up and formed a plan. Yeah, I mean, you can't possibly have enough bandwidth to even divide up. So, yeah, it's a him problem. You need to sort it out. I know the internet in the US, especially years and years ago, was probably bad. Like, earliest of broadband, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's probably something like that, especially if it's the old man providing it and having it fitted. Nevertheless, I decided to come up with a plan. My rough mind sketch at the time went like this. Can I get him benched by talking to his raid leader while I find a new place to live? That was your go-to plan. I mean, our boy understands WoW. He knows exactly what this kid's doing. If I can make sure that he has nothing reasonably important to do in WoW, then he'll stop hassling me about the internet. And also, it'll make me happy for fucking him over. Also, moving is definitely the way to go. I'm not living with somebody like this. Anybody who thinks this is a reasonable course of action, I am not spending time with you. Perhaps you see this all as a bit over the line. Yeah, a little bit. And a total waste of money. But I have been working extra jobs for years as a teen, saving towards my eventual move to university, and looking for worthwhile things to spend it on. And honestly, pissing off this disgusting, scruffy bastard Shalana seemed like a reasonable use of my funds. So, step 1. During my green hours, I downloaded World of Warcraft onto my computer and opened up a new subscription. I then selected his server, made myself a little female dwarf priest, thinking in my head that I was purging him from an addiction and that roleplay was fitting, and I paid a leveling service to cap my character so I could join his guild. I wasn't sure what their requirements were as they did raid, but it turns out their requirements were asking for an invite. Oh god, he's in a shit guild as well. I don't know why that makes it worse for me. I'm talking about me preach here. But it actually makes it infinitely worse that his guild sucks. Right? Like, that's so... It's not even a good guild. You're, like, raiding in a really bad guild, and you're tryharding so much. You're tryharding so badly, and it's clearly a dogshit guild. After doing some light chatting and getting greeted by the guild, I found out who the raid leader was, a human warrior by the name of Sneak Attacks. I couldn't be bothered messing around, so I just put it all on the line straight away. Mike, this is the exact whisper I sent to him. Hello, I am not a WoW player. I made this account and leveled it up specifically so I could speak to you. That's horrifying. Please never send that message to anybody. That is actually horrifying. That is possibly the most terrifying message you can receive in an online game. That's not okay. Yeah, blocked. Sneak Attacks did not block me. He replied, I have no idea what you want and it's weird. That makes sense. To which I wrote back, I live with one of your raiders. He's ruining my fucking life. I wish you to bench him, and I will pay you to do so he can't raid anymore. Guys, are you taking this deal? I'm absolutely taking this deal. This is clearly a dogshit guild, and someone's offering to pay you. I'm absolutely taking this deal, right? Like, how much? It doesn't matter. It's more than what I'm earning. It doesn't matter. It's more than what I'm getting. It's way more than what I'm getting, which is 0. I wonder, I don't know where the story goes. Do you think the raid leader, like, already hates that guy? He did mention earlier his raid leader was out for him, so maybe, like, they don't like him anyway. I never received a reply for 10 minutes. It was starting to get on my nerves. I was very forward with my first comments, but I wanted to cut through the bullshit and get to the point and not come across as deceptive. But my head started spinning, waiting for some form of reply. Was he asking people about me? Had I gone too far? Was Shalana going to find out what I'd done? Thinking about Shalana finding out made me consider abandoning this whole operation, when suddenly 2 beautiful words arrived on my screen in the pink. How much? How much? How much? It then followed a smiley face where he started asking questions. So we actually got into a bit of back and forth. After explaining my situation further, the raid leader said, "This can't be real. Let's hop in a call." What made this even sweeter? Sneak Attacks was a fucking bro. He was one of the most chill dudes I'd ever spoke to. In this conversation, these 2 strangers on the internet bonded. We bonded over working out. He empathized with my situation. He agreed that Shalana was a piece of shit. And he agreed to test whether this was real by taking it week by week to see if everything was on the up and up. How much do you think he paid for this? I don't know if it's exaggerated because of the story, but how much do you think he paid to bench this fucking Shalana prick? 10? Brackers nails it. I agreed to $100 a week. $100 a week. It was so much because they did raid 5 days a week, and finding players who could meet that schedule as reliably as Shalana did was going to be difficult. But he assured me if he got the money, he would prevent Shalana from doing any sort of real content in WoW as long as the money kept coming. If he managed to keep it up for the entire month and I kept the money flowing, I agreed to a $100 bonus at the end if he could ensure that he didn't just leave the guild so he would start raiding somewhere else. That's big brain. That's not easy. That's not easy. How do you keep one of your most dedicated raiders 5 days a week to be unable to raid with them, and it's clearly like most of their life. If you're raiding 5 days a week for many hours, this is clearly a big part of their lives, while also not leaving the guild. That's really not easy. I'm not even sure how you go about doing something like that. Tough. Now, I know that many of your audience will crucify me in the comments. Let me just say, it was the best money I ever spent. It absolutely fucking worked. I anxiously tested this theory on Tuesday at 8 p.m., his prime raiding hours. The spreadsheet was clear red for this day and time, but I could actually watch YouTube after 8 p.m. without him knocking at the door and screaming about raid night, red tag. My life was peaceful. And the best of all, the raid leader, Sneak Attacks, never told Shalana why this was happening, and he had no idea why this was happening. On the occasional time we did talk over this period of time, he did bring up that he had been benched in WoW. He was under the assumption that it was because of performance reasons, and so he was dedicating himself to training dummies to work his way back into the team. Aww, I do feel a bit bad now. I do. I feel a bit bad now. No, the guy's awful, but still, like, it's just... He's not going to learn. He's not going to learn anything by this. It's just really mean. You guys are soulless. You're soulless husks. You give me so much abuse, saying I'm dead inside, but I do feel a little bad. Now, here's the thing. From what I had seen of him playing WoW, he was totally shit, so it seemed reasonable that he would have been benched for that performance. I've seen a smoother rotation from people playing Guitar Hero on medium. For someone who spent nearly every waking hour playing the game, he was really, really bad at it. Week after week, I had a scheduled call with Sneak Attacks to keep me updated. Most of the time, he would just say he's coping. Told the guild his lag's been bad lately, and has actually blamed his low performance on you, who he describes in our guild chat as a low IQ meathead. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus. Fucking hell. Probably accurate. I don't know. Still feeling bad? They both suck. This is two WoW nerds in one environment battling this situation in the most obtuse manner possible. Like, it all just fits together. They both suck. Lag. That's right. This man, this disgusting slob of a human being, Shalana, was actively blaming me for his benching. Even though it was me that was responsible for his benching. But he didn't know that. He thought it was because of him, but was still, by proxy, blaming me for his benching. He was right, but for all the wrong reasons. However, issues began to arise. 3 weeks into this operation, Shalana started to slip. His once messy room became a complete disaster zone. He was so concerned about his WoW performance that he decided to stop going to class. In order to get around what was happening, he was grinding alts relentlessly and whispering other guilds for trials. You piece of shit. Once I realized what was going on, I made a call with Sneak Attacks to inform him of what I could see happening. Sneak Attacks then spread the word that Shalana was unstable and unfit for any trials in raid guilds. Jesus Christ, what is the matter with you people? What is the matter with you people? What is wrong with you, man? Like... Now, I didn't feel too bad about this because I could see how he was living, and I can't deny he probably was unstable. Mike, I want to be clear. Since he had stopped being able to raid in WoW, I found zero evidence of him showering for the last 13 days. I mean, this guy needs help. Yeah, this dude needs help. This guy is like locked in a basement of his own filth, playing WoW. This guy has more fucking microtransactions than you can believe. At this time, we had upgraded our agreement. I had given Sneak Attacks a raise, he's not your employee, and put him on permanent payroll. The usual amount for benching was increased by $10, and I paid an extra $5 a day for him to maintain any reference to Shalana as being unfit to raid anywhere else. In the 4th week, Shalana knocked on my door. It was nothing like the first time that he knocked on my door, exclaiming about the internet. He wasn't angry. He wasn't abrasive. He looked like he hadn't been sleeping or showering in a while. "Hey," he said quietly. "Why couldn't you just respect my schedule?" Rumbled. We've been rumbled. We've been rumbled. Shocking. Shocking. Seeing how disheveled he was, I felt for at least a brief second a little bit bad. I just said, "Dude, I have to prio my school before I prio your video games. It isn't unreasonable, and what you asked was unreasonable." I had thought about this confrontation many, many times. I knew exactly what to say and had practiced it in my head. He looked at me blankly, sighed, muttered, and went back to his room. A week later, I got a message from Sneak Attacks. "Dude, Shalana has gone nuclear." He screamed at an officer in Discord, logged out in the middle of a raid that we were doing, and transferred servers. It's over. It's done. Not good, as you can imagine. My relationship with Sneak Attacks was perfect, professionally handled. He got money, I got my roomie strung along without being able to partake in content, and I got to do the appropriate homework and stuff I needed to do for university. But now, there was a new server. I didn't know which one it was. A new raid leader. I had no clue who he'd be and how he would react. If I even managed to You're planning to do it again? Why? Why are you planning to do this again? Like, that's not the solution. Like, well, we got to start the whole process again. I got to find out the server, the raid leader. No. Even if I reached this new raid leader and the raid leader told Shalana, he would figure out that I was behind this. Oh, you still don't think it's him? I'm not sure if he knows. See, my indication from when he knocked on the door is that he knows it's you. Why couldn't you just respect my schedule? But the implication here is that he doesn't know it's him. Probably just a desperate plea. Oh! I get it. He's talking about the lag. Yeah. He's legitimately blaming the lag. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, I see where we're at. Yeah, he knocked on the door and said, "Why couldn't you respect my internet schedule because of the lag?" So he is blaming the lag. Yeah, he doesn't know it's him. If I reached this new raid leader and the raid leader told Shalana, he would figure out that I was behind what happened previously and it would hit the fan. Mike, what comes next is really not the proudest moment of my life, and I do feel bad about it to this day. Okay, how much worse can this get, brother? How much worse can this get? Because it's really bad right now. I'm just telling you, Arthur, it's already really, really bad. Like, this guy is now in a full depression, I think. He was already depressed with World of Warcraft. And it felt as if he was on the verge of quitting the game. Is that a real concern here? In my mind, I was going to leave this place the same day I got the news anyways. A friend of mine had offered that I could stay on his couch until I got a place so I could put this all behind me, but I had been delaying it when my raid deal was going because, frankly, things were kind of okay at home while the deal was in place. So, it was time to full send. I packed all my stuff and got ready to move at a moment's notice. I waited for days to find the opportunity. What are you doing? And finally caught it on an afternoon when he left the house briefly to get replacement microwave meals. I went into his room, which was now the most disgusting thing I'd been a part of. The smell in there was thick, almost like you had to walk through it. And his WoW account was still there, logged in, as it always was. Now, you might have thought that I would be deleting his characters or something like that. That's not what I did. As much as I wanted to do something like that and delete Shalana's characters, gear, and whatever, I was afraid that Blizzard could see that as someone hacking his account and just restore it. I mean, they could do that anyway. I went for the throat in a different way. I logged every single one of his characters. I respect his max level professions, bro. I put all his BOEs and consumables on the auction house, and I death rolled away all his gold in the city. Why? That's just vindictive. Well, you did say that at the start of the story, that it was a very malicious thing to do. Lastly, I sent his brand new guild master a whisper saying that he was a cunt and all the lies he had told to get him to server transfer and his guild was dog shit, and then G quit. It's a really bad day. That's a real dark day. I left for my friend's place ASAP, and it didn't take long for Shalana to notice, as you can imagine. My phone was blowing up with missed calls a good half hour later. I blocked the number, and we've never spoken again. Oh my god. Is that guy here now? You didn't deserve that. You deserved some shit, though. Like, don't be gross, but like, Jesus Christ. I had no idea what happened to him until about a year ago. Oh, we got an update. We got a modern update. We got a 2024 update. His name appeared on LinkedIn when I did a quick search. Ladies and gentlemen, you probably feel a bit bad for him and maybe hate me, and maybe you even hate him after listening to this tale that we went through for just a month of living at university. He's doing very well. He's got a family. He's got quite a good job. As for me, university went super well after this day. I stayed with my friend for 2 months until I got my own apartment, graduated with a degree in finance, and now work for a big consulting firm. Who wrote this? I suspect I might know who this is. But sometimes, when I'm sat at my desk, typing away, dressed properly, in my totally respectable adult job, I think back to that dirty fucking basement, to a man who made me pay for peace with PayPal, and I realize, and I ask myself, would I have done it again? And as I write this out to you, and I know that many thousands of people will ultimately listen to it, I think I would. I probably would. Because as much as I'm going to get roasted, be honest, some of you would have done the same thing. The end. I know I wouldn't have done that. No. I know I wouldn't have done that. No. I don't know why, but like fucking the WoW account up as well, I think is worse than anything else. I would have gotten the school involved. I don't think the school can get involved with an off-site property. Yeah. I don't think they would have ever got involved with that. Like a dispute between students is a dispute between students, is a civil thing. I can't afford to do this. He said he worked multiple jobs. I don't think it's a Nepo baby angle. Gamer brain. The WoW account thing was minor. The whole thing is fucked. You are all, and I declare it, guilty, my friends. You are all very guilty. That was a dark tale. A dark tale. It has gone 6 p.m. here, and I have to go and see my family. So I know it's a slightly shorter drama time. I apologize. We'll be back on track going forwards. But it is time for me to go and say goodbye. As a final message, Monday, our Halloween bonanza begins. The team has been preparing all kinds of things. Now, if you're not sure what that means, check back to the other things that the team has prepared in the past without my knowledge. So that will be beginning Monday morning. Saturday, we will attempt to do a stream just to finish Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth's story. I'm going to try and do that on Saturday to get that done and dusted. Okay? Get done and dusted, so it should be good. In terms of Final Fantasy XIV and our tour that we're doing with some streamers, showing them FF14 for the first time, that will be Friday afternoon before drama next week. All right, so thank you for a wonderful week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very tired. My throat's going. I'm going. Bye-bye.